Good morning, seventh grade. Today in seventh grade computers, you're going to be moving on to lesson 10, learning about how to add style elements to your HTML pages. So in lesson 10, you have been doing 1 through 9. Okay, lesson 9 was where we added the navigation bar. And then we finished up our multi-pages and linked them together. So now we're going to be moving into chapter 2, which is going to work on adding style to your HTML pages. So when you move into lesson 1, you have some new vocabulary, and you're going to be working today with a coding partner or partners. The substitute will let you know who you're going to work with to work through lesson 10 today. So lesson 10 has 2 new vocabulary words, a CSS and a CSS selector. You're going to add those to your vocab sheet in Google Classroom. Right down here is lesson 10, where you're going to add those 2 vocab words. Hit continue. All right, so this brings you into what you will be doing with CSS. So as you can see here, here is our normal index page where we have added information about added text to our website. So down here on line 7, you will see that we had a heading, an H1, we're about to learn a new language. On line 8, we have a smaller heading, and it's going to help us add style. And in line 9, we had another H1, but how does it work? So how did we get that? Well, you'll notice up here in line 4 that there's been a link to a style file. That style file is right over here, the .css file. So if you click on the .css file, you will notice that anything that is signified with an H1 has the color of blue and has the text align of center. Anything that is signified with an H2 has a text align to the right and has a color of red. So this is what we're going to be adding to our pages. So when I go back to lesson 1 and I look at my vocabulary, okay, I have a CSS selector. That is part of the CSS rule that defines what HTML elements like H1 or H2 the style should be applied to. So when we did that here in lesson 2, and we went to the CSS page, internet's being slow. We went to the CSS page, we have the C1, or the H1, excuse me, and the H2. Let's go ahead and hit finish. Okay, number 3 is going to be a video that's going to introduce you to this. So when you get with your partners today, I do want you to add the vocabulary. I want you to look over number 2, and with your partner, I want you to watch this video together. Then you're going to work on numbers 4 and 5 with your partner. When you get to number 6, you're going to have a review page. Okay, kind of reviewing some of this information to you and how you actually add a style sheet. Okay, make sure you look over this page because this will be helpful as you work through numbers 7, 8, 9, and 10 for Monday. I would like those done. You can then move ahead and look over 11 and 12. But what I don't want you to do, I do not want you to add changes to your website. So I actually don't want you to do numbers 13 and 14. If by chance you would get beyond that, with the exception of 13 and 14, because you're not going to do those, okay, then you're going to hit continue. Okay, you're going to move on to lesson 11 with your partners. If you don't get that far, that's okay. Okay, to get into lesson 11 would just kind of give you a preview into what's going to happen next week. Okay, but what you for sure have to do is lesson 10, numbers 1 through 10. Okay, go ahead and look over 11, watch the video for 12, but you're not going to add style to your website. Okay, when you move into lesson 11, it's just going to introduce you to more CSS. And you only need to work on lesson 11 if you have time to do it in class. Otherwise, your assignment for Monday is lesson 10, numbers 1 through 12.